Do you know that you were built to carry what breaks other people? Let that land because if you're watching this and you've been feeling the weight, the pressure, the responsibility, the expectation, you might be assuming that there's something wrong with you. But what if the weight isn't the evidence that you're failing? What if it's the evidence that you're trusted? There's a line that hits hard. The cave that you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. And most people spend their whole life walking circles around the cave, calling it being careful, calling it realistic, calling it waiting for the right time. But you keep getting pulled towards it. And that's why the normal life never quite fit you. That's why comfort starts to feel like a freaking cage. That's why easy doesn't even satisfy you because you weren't designed for a life where you shrink to stay safe. You were built to expand. And if you're a business owner, a leader, an entrepreneur, you already know this is true because the higher you go, the more freaking weight you carry, more decisions, more uncertainty, more people depending on you, more risk, more visibility, more responsibility. And here's the part that no one's telling you. The next level doesn't just require a better strategy. It requires a better and a stronger identity. And that's the real problem. Most people try to solve identity level demand with surface level behavior. They really try to work harder. I did that. What's actually happening is they're hitting the edge of who they believe they are. It's called the upper limit. It's an upper limit problem. Gay Hendricks talks about the upper limit problems in his book, The Big Leap. It's the same thing. That's the same thing that as him describing the edges of our self-image. So the pressure shows up and it exposes something. It exposes where you still doubt yourself. It exposes where you still want guarantees. It exposes where you still want it to feel safe before you make the move. Have you ever thought that way or felt that way? And that's why this season feels heavy, because it's not just a workload, it's a test of your self-image. Some of you are calling it suffering, but it's really refinement. Some of you are calling it frustration, but it's really formation. And if you're a person of faith, you understand this. Sometimes God doesn't bless you by making it easier. Sometimes he blesses you by making you stronger, not to punish you, to prepare you. Because if you're going to carry more, you have to become more. You have to expand and grow and improve. And the reason this matters is simple. If you interpret pressure as a sign to retreat and to pull back, you're going to train your nervous system to run every time growth calls. You'll become a professional procrastinator with a motivational playlist. You'll look super busy, but you'll stay stuck right where you are. You'll keep circling the cave. And you know what? You'll tell yourself, I just need more time. No, you don't. You need a new identity. You need a self-image alteration. So let's just flip the meaning of fear for a minute. Fear is not a warning that you're in danger. Most of the time, fear is a signal that you're at the edges of expansion. Fear is energy. And if you don't aim that energy, it turns into avoidance, overthinking, and distraction. And of course, doubt, the worst part. But when you aim it, fear becomes fuel. So how do you do that in real life, in business, in leadership? When the weight is real, here's the shift. Step one, stop asking, how do I get rid of this fear? And start asking, what is this fear trying to grow in me? Because fear shows you the exact place your next identity upgrade is hiding. And if you're afraid to sell, it's not just sales, it's worthiness. If you're afraid to hire, it's not just payroll, it's trust. If you're afraid to post content, it's not just visibility, it's self-image. And if you're afraid to raise prices, it's not just numbers, it's value and certainty. Fear is rarely about the moment. It's about what the moment would force you to become. And that's a hard thing to realize. Step two, shrink the move, not the mission. A lot of entrepreneurs get trapped because they think that courage means a big, massive leap. No, courage is movement without certainty. It could be just one email. It could be one call, one conversation, one offer, one uncomfortable decision, but made cleanly. You don't need to feel ready. You need to move, because every time you move while you're scared, you're teaching your mind a new truth, which is, I can handle hard things. And that becomes your identity. Step three, carry it like an honor. Because here's what I know about you. If you're resonating with this message, you're not built for average. You're built for impact. You're built for leadership. You're built for more service, more stewardship, and more responsibility. And yes, more freaking weight. But weight is not automatically a curse. Weight is often the receipt that you've been entrusted with something that matters. The problem isn't the weight. The problem is when you think that weight means you're alone or weak or behind or broken. You're not freaking broken. You're being built. Now, I want you to visualize this with me. Imagine a version of you 6 months from now. Same industry, same life, but different posture, different certainty, and certainly different standards. That version of you doesn't beg for motivation. That version of you doesn't wait to feel confident. That version of you doesn't run from the cave. That version of you walks straight down the freaking mouth of that cave, right in it. And the best part, the treasure you find isn't just money. It's not just results, it's you. It's the identity you earn on the other side of that test. Because the point was never the pressure. The point was the person you become carrying the pressure. So here's the action. Today, identify the cave. The one thing you've been circling around, the conversation you've been avoiding, the decision you keep delaying, the move you keep calling, not the right time. And then make one bold, clean step towards it in the next 24 hours. Not in 2 days, not in 3 days, in 24 hours. You got to cement this, okay? And not to prove it to anyone, but to install a new identity in yourself. And if you want help wiring this into your life and business, go watch the Infinite You preview trailer for Turning Fear into Fuel by clicking the link below. Because once you learn how to convert fear into fuel, you stop living like life is happening to you, and you start living like you were built for this. Remember this. You were built to carry what breaks other people.
I'm breaking free, I'm stepping through, turning fear into fuel. No more hiding, no more doubt. I'm rising up, I'm breaking out. Growth begins where fear once grew. I'm turning fear into fuel.